The UN Security Council held an emergency meeting Wednesday on how best to calm the conflict in the Middle East. Speaking there, UN Chief Antonio Guterres called for an end to the, quote, sickening cycle of escalation. He also specifically condemned Iran over its latest missile attack after being deemed persona non grata in Israel. Israel has long accused the UN of anti-Semitism.
And as should have been obvious yesterday, in the context of the condemnation I expressed, I again strongly condemn yesterday's massive missile attack by Iran on Israel. And these attacks, paradoxically, do nothing to support the cause of the Palestinian people or reduce their suffering. Almost 1 year has passed since the atrocious 7 October acts of terror by Hamas and the taking of hostages. And since last October, Israel has conducted in Gaza the most deadly and destructive military campaign in my years as Secretary General. The suffering endured by the Palestinian people in Gaza is beyond imagination.
France 24's Jessica Le Masurier has more now on the UN chief's comments Wednesday.
UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has responded to the latest criticism from Israel after Israel's foreign minister declared him persona non grata, saying that, well, he didn't properly condemn the attacks that Iran launched on Israel. Guterres said, no, that's not the case, and reiterated in a Security Council meeting today that his condemnation of those attacks were clear. He said, I again strongly condemn the massive missile attack by Iran on Israel. Israel's repeatedly criticised Guterres and the United Nations, largely because Guterres has called for UN member states to respect international humanitarian law, and he really hasn't minced his words when it comes to Israel and when it comes to calling for an end to the deadly violence in the Middle East. Now, several council members, including the UK and France, spoke out in defence of the Secretary-General, and they condemned Iran's attacks on Israel as well, but they also called for a ceasefire in Gaza and in Lebanon. Now, the British ambassador said that, well, peace, not war, is the courageous option right now. Algeria's ambassador also said the Secretary-General had his backing and called the idea of de-escalation through escalation in the Middle East a dangerous fallacy. Well, several council members have decried the killing of civilians both in Gaza and in Lebanon, and Algeria said that essentially Israel's being granted carte blanche to continue its rampage in Gaza, the West Bank and Lebanon. Now, the vast majority of UN Security Council members want the fighting to stop. They want a ceasefire, yet Israel is clearly pursuing a military path. The US ambassador said that Washington strongly believes in a diplomatic solution, yet she also reaffirmed the United States' steadfast support of Israel's right to defend itself. Now, most other countries in the Council think that the US is really tone deaf and should do more to pressure its ally Israel to stop before a regional war is ignited.